Hello, my name is Aaron Fincher, and I'm the first speaker of the proposition. I would like to show how healthcare should be recognized as a human right. The proposition would first like to make its three contentions and then summarize. First off, healthcare is a medical field in which people in need get medical attention. Healthcare is a service that has saved many lives, and if healthcare was a human right, it would save so many more lives than it currently does. So should saving this many lives really have a price? First off, I would like to explain how healthcare would be beneficial if it was a human right. According to the World Health Organization, healthcare has saved 350 lives a year. That would be considering the average lifespan at about 70 years for 24,500 years that healthcare would make useful, like not die. And put into perspective, 350 lives is a lot, and healthcare that is paid for has saved that much lives in that many years. Now imagine that you have a life-threatening disease, and that healthcare would be necessary to treat it for, but you don't have enough money. So why should the right to healthcare to life be restricted to the wealthy? Healthcare should be a human right because the number of lives that is saved could go into the thousands. Previously, hopeless lives could now go on living because healthcare became a human right. If you got your life saved, you'd be instantly joyous. If America made healthcare a human right, it could mirror Canada, which brings me to my next point: how America could learn from other countries. According to BigThink.com, Canada's healthcare plan saves up to 101,000 Canadian lives from preventable deaths. In Canada, the healthcare plan is free and saves 3 times as much as America's healthcare. That would be more lives than that would be previously hopeless because they did not have enough money. But America does not want to switch because healthcare that is paid for is very profitable. This highly effective way of making money for the American people is actually hurting the American people. Australia is another country where healthcare is a human right and should be used as a role model for America. Canada and Australia both have budgets for it, but America does not want to sacrifice more of its budget for the well-being of the people. My final point is that healthcare is universally recognized. Other countries have universal healthcare because they recognize it as a human right. That the lives of the people matter. They think that we should not have to pay for a life. Even the Constitution interpreted and according to Procon says healthcare is a regiment function of the government. Even though it has interpreted in the Constitution, America decides not to pay for healthcare, even though the Constitution can be interpreted that way. To summarize, everyone needs healthcare, so it should not be paid for. Life should not have a price on it. Other countries have worked with healthcare as a human right, and America just wants to keep the money. When interpreted, the Constitution can say that healthcare is a human right. And, not to mention, America is the only highly developed country where healthcare is not a human right. Thank you. Just trying to get my stuff straight.
All right. My name is Alejandro David Rojas. I'll be the first speaker for the opposition. I'll be refuting the proposition. So the proposition says that healthcare has saved many lives, which it has, and that's a very good thing for everyone in the society. But sometimes it hurts more people if it will. In the long run, it would hurt more people than it would save if it was free. Because we get our money. America gets our money from taxes, and if healthcare is a big part of that tax area range, And if we didn't have those taxes, we wouldn't be able to afford many things, such as everyday things that we carry out. And things like just small enough as potholes or whatever in your local streets that we're able to fix because of these things, of the money that we gain. Also, you said that, the proposition said that they imagine if we didn't have enough money to pay for our health care. But just because some people don't have enough money, there is Medicaid. Also, the proposition said that it hurts American people when they don't have it, which is true, but like I said beforehand, it will eventually, and basically in the long run, it will save more people than it hurts if it was free. Following that, people have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness as it is clearly stated in the Declaration of Independence. However, it does not say that people deserve the right to free health care. That would just be socialism. And we are proud capitalists here in the America, the good old USA. Besides, this act could potentially harm more people than it saves. Also, healthcare isn't exactly free per se. The government actually pays for it, making us less wealthy and a lot worse of a place if we gave up those taxes. I'm not saying that America is bad. I'm just saying that we have other problems. Again, the only way out would be to tax way more, and that's more socialism. Besides, look at Venezuela. If you don't know where Venezuela is, it's in Southern America, and it has recently turned to socialism because of its new president. Venezuela used to be top-notch, grade A place. Now they can't even get toilet paper. They are starving because of what their president did. Now it is our choice to define if we become beggars on the streets or choosers of our own health and life as we know it. We are not like the people in Venezuela. We are better. We have freedom. We have rights. Most importantly, we get to choose our place in the world. Unlike other places, we have the decision to have more than one child. We have our dignity. We have our will to choose who we are and what we do. We are one of the few places who actually have that ability to go from lower class to upper class. And that's saying a lot, because in most areas of the world, they don't have that. So, I would like to say, allowing free healthcare to be free is going against our Constitution and our rights. We deserve better, we deserve more. That is why I ask you all today, judge, jury, not really, and my opposers, would you rather be slaves of God knows who, or would you rather have our dignity to stand up and wipe our own butts? Again, the Declaration of Independence states, all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But none of these say that we have the right to free health care. We do not need it for all cases. All it would do would shatter us and leave us with more pressing concerns. Thank you very much for my time, and have a nice day.
Hello, I am Sophia Franz, the second speaker for the proposition, and I would like to refute the opposition before moving on to the proposition's second contention. The opposition has claimed that it hurts more people in the long run because healthcare takes away taxes, which can go to making potholes and fixing streets. But when 27 countries have better mortality rates due to healthcare, is that really a problem? Do potholes matter in the case of life and death when we're already in such a bad spot in terms of healthcare? You also say that in the Constitution it is stated that all American citizens have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, but not health care. However, there have been several conventions that the U.S. has signed and taken part of that recognize health care as a human right. So it may not be in the Constitution, but it is recognized, it is supposedly recognized in the U.S. and in many other countries as a human right. You also claim that health care would cost more money, that the right to health care would cost more money. However, according to procon.org, public and private health care spending could be lowered by approximately 1.8 trillion over the next decade. Canada and the UK both have the right to free healthcare, and they spend about half as much as the US on healthcare per year. So this is not necessarily true. Healthcare does not always cost more money. Now moving on to the proposition second contention. Other countries have successfully implemented universal healthcare with positive results. Therefore, the US must implement healthcare as a human right as well. To begin, the Boston Globe reports that universal healthcare is a system that provides quality medical services to all citizens. The federal government offers it to everyone regardless of their ability to pay. Most universal healthcare is funded by general income taxes or payroll taxes. First, having the right to healthcare can lower the cost of healthcare in the US as well as government spending. Canada, Switzerland, and the UK all have the right to healthcare and spend approximately half as much on it each year. According to Forbes, Hong Kong, Singapore, New Zealand, Australia, Switzerland, Canada, Chile, Estonia, Ireland, and Denmark all have better economies and economic freedom than the United States and spend less money on healthcare with universal healthcare systems. BusinessDictionary.com states that economic freedom is the freedom to prosper within a country without intervention from a government or economic authority. This means that individuals are free to secure and protect his or her human resources, labor, and private property. This proves that implementing the right to healthcare does not jeopardize economies and in fact may even help them. Second, having universal healthcare does not automatically result in longer wait times to get into urgent cares and emergency rooms as many people have been led to believe. In both the Netherlands and France, countries that utilize universal healthcare, citizens wait significantly less than American citizens. Approximately 9% of Dutch patients wait over 2 hours for a medical appointment, as opposed to the 31% of Americans that wait over 2 hours for medical appointments. Furthermore, 27 countries with universal healthcare have lower mortality rates amenable to the lack of healthcare, including the UK, Canada, Germany, France, Australia, the Netherlands, Italy, and South Korea, among many others. Many countries around the world have implemented the right to healthcare in their society and have shown very positive results. There is absolutely no reason why the United States, a very wealthy country, would not be able to do the same. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jasmine Hendricks, and I am the second opposition speaker, and will be refuting against what the proposition stated, and will back up our side of the debate, which is healthcare should not be free. As the proposition said previously, 27 countries already have healthcare, free healthcare, but it's not affecting them negatively. But it can increase the wait, but you said it wouldn't. But although there's been many reasoning behind how it could increase the wait for time. Okay, so healthcare does not always cost more, as you said, but it could because people could use it as just like a privilege and overuse it, so it costs more and more money for the government and the U.S. Because they have to buy the medicine and antibiotics and equipment to heal people. So Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, if everyone is given so-called free healthcare, it isn't exactly safe or free for everyone. According to healthcare.procon.org, giving free healthcare could increase the wait for emergency services such as the paramedics or the ambulance. This can put people in more danger than what they were originally in. As stated in freedomworks.org, positive rights like housing, healthcare, and clothing are listed nowhere in the Declaration of Independence. This means it doesn't necessarily have to be filled, only by choice it is done. Giving free healthcare can and will put our government and our country in debt. This is because the United States has to buy all of the equipment and the medicine and antibiotics for the people to be healed with. Although there is universal health care, but the U.S. has not yet obtained it, universal health care can't solve all the problems. According to thebalance.com, just the cost of producing quality health care makes universal health care a large expense for governments. If universal health care is funded by general income and payroll taxes, what happens to the taxes? They'll go up. We don't want higher taxes. Universal health care basically forces people to pay for other people's health care. It would also reduce the amount of available funding for education and other things of that sort. According to the rest of the iceberg.com or .org, the U.S. government actually pays for a lot of healthcare in the U.S. It pays for the really old, the very poor, and the ex-military workers. They all have their healthcare paid by the government. That is 37% of the U.S. population. Nobody should be forced to spend their hard-earned money on other people because they can't provide for themselves. Overall, healthcare should not be a human right, and it isn't fair and is unjust. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sophia Moreno, and I will be the third prepositional speaker for the preposition. Through our first two contentions, we have made it clear that we need health care. Contention 1: everybody needs it, and more than 27 other countries have successfully done it. And thirdly, it's recognized by the World Health Organization, along with supported by our Constitution. In argument 1, Aaron establishes how mortality shouldn't only be established by how rich you are and the affordability. Argument 2, other countries have successfully made a plan that has both economic freedom and universal coverage. Take for example, Hong Kong. According to a Forbes article, conservatives think tank 10 countries with universal health care have freer economics than the U.S. Hong Kong has an 89.6 economic freedom score, and it has universal coverage, which that is ranked the highest in the world. Addressing the opposition, they gave us hypothetical reasoning that of how it would take more time to take care of patients health-wise. However, we stand behind not hypothetical reasoning, and we have in actual places. Like Sophia Franz had said before, universal healthcare in the Netherlands and France no longer waits times to get service. Citizens wait much less than Americans, including after their physician has gone home. Citizens in Amsterdam or Paris have called to get an immediate appointment. So in fact, it is a faster wait time than what the opposition was saying. Continuing on, our concluding argument is that it is part of the Constitution. Our concluding argument that it is part of the Constitution and the demand for universal health care back in 1984. In 1948. In 1948, the World Health Organization declared healthcare as a basic human right, according to the article Universal Healthcare in Different Countries, Pros and Cons of Each. The World Healthcare Organization declared healthcare as a basic human right, and we have had over 70 years to create a plan. We have taken so long, many have forgotten or don't know about this, along with the fact that it is tied to the Constitution, when it states, promote the general welfare. Welfare in the Webster Dictionary twice mentions the role of health and sickness plays in one's welfare, suggesting healthcare is a central component. Promote, according to the Webster Dictionary, means to forward, to advance, to contribute to growth, enlargement, or excel of any valuable. These two definitions prove by standing true to our values in the Constitution, healthcare should be a human right. There is no argument that healthcare should and already be a human right.
Hello, my name is Sada Iyalaman, and I am the third and final speaker for the opposition. So for my time today, I would like to continue on to refute from my opponents. So the first speaker has stated that 350 or so lives have been saved by this immediate healthcare and this so-called like good reputation for the healthcare. But how many will be lost? Because there is so much of, if we have free healthcare, there will be so much loss in equipment, and there will be so many appointments in that maybe we won't have enough equipment to tend to somebody. So if we have all of those and we tend to so many people, then there will be some lives, at least one or many others, that will be lost. And I think, in my opinion, one life is way too many. Also, my opponent states the Webster Dictionary definition of welfare, and it said something about health and safety for the people. Well, going back to that, it isn't really safe and healthy at all to have this healthcare, so that actually proves, thank you for giving us that, because that actually proves that it's not good for, America. Anyways, so now I would like to elaborate and close up everything. Healthcare, as good as it sounds, might end up actually hurting us rather than benefiting. Author Julie Borowski states this: of course, there's no such thing as free healthcare. The government has no money of its own, which means that they cannot give anyone free healthcare without first taking away something from someone else. So from this, I'm hoping you can see that healthcare for everyone is not the best choice. If we do have healthcare as a human right, we will always have that little veil in front of our eyes that will tell us our healthcare is free of cost. But of course, this would be a lie. This would hurt us. Government will be forced to raise taxes, and there would be huge commotion because of that. I know that citizens don't particularly like tax days, so why would we want to raise that? Another way that healthcare could actually hurt us rather than benefiting is by our health itself. If we have healthcare for everybody, that'll be harming our health. There will be more people in clinics, therefore the wait times will be longer. Also, the need for equipment will go up. Therefore, if there is a medical emergency and you need a piece of equipment but do not have it, there are too many people in the hospital because of free healthcare. That person who is sick, maybe even deathly sick, their life is at risk. Do you understand that we are risking people's lives when we offer free healthcare? Now, my team has just expressed our opinions and our facts for this debate. In all consideration, I will leave you with one question today, and that is, are you willing to risk lives, risk lifestyles, risk our reputation as a country, all together, and all of this just for so-called human right that will in fact take away from other needs and rights as humans?